Right. So template literal string. Okay. So you remember that we have talked about strings in in JavaScript can be written as, for example, if I say var s1 equal to, and I can write hello like this string. I can write in JavaScript like var s2 equal to single quotation hello. And again, my prettier will not allow me, but of course, since it is comment, so it will just show me, or it will allow me to just show that one. But anyhow, these were the two ways of defining string before that. I'll keep it above. Right? Now, there is one more way of writing the strings, and that is called template literal string. And this is very interesting. And this is the one that you would have seen last week's lecture. And by the way, another question. How many of you were able to see the part 2 of week 2 part 2 lecture? Can I get a yes in the chat window? How many of you have seen that lecture? Because if someone has seen that, they will have this question. Okay, what is this backticks? What is that? Maybe I'll be using backticks over there. Okay, that's wonderful. There are lots of people who have seen that. That's wonderful. Now see here, I might be repeating a bit of that, but again, that would be good. So template strings. There is another way of writing strings in JavaScript, and that is I'm writing S3 and I'm writing a code for that one. That is by using backticks. You know where is this backticks? This backticks is on your keyboard. If you see before one key, there is a tilde key, and if you just press tilde also comes over there. If I just shift tab, this tilde comes, and if you just hit that key before one, you will find this backtick will appear. Can everyone find that? So this is called backticks. I don't know. Deep has said yes. Maybe it's for the backticks. Okay, you found that. That's wonderful. Now this is another way of writing the strings. Hello, WEB222, and one way or another, it's basically exactly the same. So if I just console.log S3, it will just print the string. No big deal. Node nee.js. I just want to run that one. You see, hello WEB222. No big difference. What is the difference? String interpolation becomes very easy by using these backticks. And what does that mean? I'll give you an example, and then you might enjoy that example. So if I say var name, I've just given exactly the same example in the morning class. Var name is equal to ln, age is equal to 20, something like that. And I want to write a statement, or maybe for example, yes, I want to write a statement, console.log, and I want to write welcome, and then I want to have your name, for example, Alan, right? So I'll say, okay, plus name, and name is not liked by this one. So I'll say f name. Again, I'll just make it f name because the compiler does not like to have the name only. So I'll say welcome f name, and then I'll say plus your age is, right? And then I have to concatenate age. I will write age over here. Now, this is a simple statement. It does not look that confusing. But what about, I'll just tell you, what about if I had to use a dot, I had to use something else, and then, there will be confusing statement. But anyhow, if I run this statement, you'll see welcome Alan, your age, and there is no space before your, I can put a space over there in my inverted commas, and now I'll get the space before that one. Welcome Alan, and your age is 20. Everyone understand that? Now, this is one way of concatenating variables over here. In JavaScript, we are given this template literal strings or backticks, which is very interesting and which is very easy to use the strings. And you will find, or mostly I will be using that one from now onward. So if I say console.log, and rather than using a double quotation, I'll use a backtick, right? So I'll say welcome. And now wherever I have to put in a variable, I will put in this expression symbol, $sign and curly braces. And I can put the variable over here. Welcome f name. I can put a sign of exclamation over here. And I can say, and maybe comma, and I'll say your age is, and now if I want to put in the age, $sign, curly braces, I'll just write age. Make sense, everyone? It's called string interpolation. We are just interpolating strings in that. Oh, it means nothing. Oh, I'm just for display. I just given them. Deep. Understand? Deep. This was just for a display. But I've just taken it away. Don't worry. It's not a part of it. Okay, now if you see here, welcome Alan, your age is 20. You see that I have written down a complete statement without any worries of having plus, minus, multiply, that, etc., etc., etc. Now, I generally give some students example. So if, for example, I wanted to have something like of this kind of output, you see, I can place a parenthesis just for output purpose, as Deep has asked a question. I can place hey, time complexity, I don't know what, rather, yes, sometimes, yes, it will save your time as well. So if you see, if I have to place all these things, what I'll do, I'll just place that one. And if you see it over here, that it has got curly braces. Now, if I had to do the same thing with this one, so I'll come over here and I'll show you. Sorry, if I had to just, write a bracket sign, I'll have to just, exactly, I'll have to just write this bracket sign, and then I'll have to write this bracket sign over here. Then I don't know, this sign of exclamation here, and then a bracket sign over here. And then you see, I need something bracket sign after that as well. So I'll again write plus, inverted commas, close parenthesis, something like that. So you see that both of these statements are producing exactly the same result, almost exactly the same result, but they are how different they are. This is very easy for you. Let's say, are you understanding that? This is very interesting, and I'll tell you this. So you see that almost exactly the same output, but it's now rather very easy. Just keep on writing that string. Just interpolate wherever you need a variable, you need something to put in right over there. And by the way, this not only, let me just make it a comment. This is not only that that you can put in a variable. This is the expression box. Okay, you're saying, just to play, what would you call that? Is that a short term of okay, yeah, it's basically, they are called template strings literals. That's it, you understand? They're called template string literals. That's the short form, or you can call it. Now let me tell you, this is called the expression, expression area, where you put. So it's not only that you will put in variable, you can put anything that evaluates to something else. If I can say 2 plus 3, I can say age plus 20. See my output now. What will be my output? You will be guessing that one, because this is an expression box. This is not a variable, of course. Welcome 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. So this all evaluates to a value. Yes, and age plus 20 is equal to 40, of course, because now I am just adding. So this is basically an expression box where you can just write expressions, anything. So if I write 2 equal 3, what will be my output now? Listen, or anyone. 2 equals 3. What will be my output now? Okay, Deep says 0. Write the complete output. Okay, let's see that. Welcome false. Your age is 40, and you are right. If it is making you mess, it's messy, I can just remove these things. Yes, false. It's not 0. It will be false. So someone was saying that it looks messy. Okay, I have just now removed that. So if you see here, welcome false, your age, why false? Because 2 equal 3 produces a false. Now if I come here and I write 2 equal 2, what it will produce? Welcome true, your age is 40, of course. Now, okay, what do you think? If I say age greater than 20, what will be my output now? Can anyone tell me? What will be my output now? With welcome, it will be false, and then age will be what? Okay, just give me a second. Okay. Oh, I ran not a script. Not an e dot. So welcome true, because 2 equals is true. Deep, you're just mistaking over here. 2 equals 2 is true. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I changed the first part. And now, of course, this will be false, because it's a strict equal, and a strict equal will never be, never be equal to this one. So welcome false, your age is false. So, you need to understand that. You need to understand one thing, that this is basically an expression box rather than anything else. Understand, everyone? Okay, someone is unmuted by mistake, and they should be muted. Let me see who is that. Second, you are unmuted. I am muted, no problems. Okay, everyone understand this one? This is a very interesting concept, and this is called backticks, and I will be using this backticks Too much. Oh, expression box is easier to remember than template written strings. Listen, what are you talking about? Which one you are saying expression box? You are talking about this one. So this is basically a way to insert a variable or a value. There is no short value. There's a you have to use this one. Wherever you are putting up an expression, you will have to put that over there. Right? So this is template literal strings. Okay. What else I discussed today? Yes. So then we started talking about something called objects and object-oriented programming in data in JavaScript. Objects and object-oriented programming. We'll start talking about something very, very interesting, and I'll show you what does that mean, and I'll show you the examples that I showed to all of them. Objects and object-oriented programming. Now, I will go to my, my web browser, and I'll do one thing. I'll go to my REPL. There is a REPL over here where I can run my JavaScript for quick running and just looking at the output. So you say, if I say var str1 string 1 equal to Seneca, right? I have defined a string 1. So if I say str1, you see Seneca is there. Interestingly, JavaScript treats most of the data types as object data types. What do we mean by object data type? An object data type is one. If I just write object data type is one where methods are implicitly defined, or not methods. I'll write methods / operations. Operations are implicitly defined. What does that mean, implicitly defined? See here. So I just defined str1 Seneca. Is that right? Now if I come over here and I say str1 dot, yes, so see here, let's say str1 dot. So there are so many functions available on my disposable with str1, even though I've just defined a normal string, but a string has so many functions included in that one. For example, I'll tell you one of them, which is very important. String1 dot length. I can calculate the length of this string. You remember C language did not have this type of facility. If C language you define a string or a variable or something, so that will jump. So now here I have so many methods. So I can say replace. I can say replace, for example, E. If you find an E in my Seneca word, you replace it with O, for example, something like that. You see, it's become Seneca. And why? It has just replaced one E. If I come over here and I even use this replace all method, you see it's become Seneca. Isn't that interesting? So str1 implicitly gets so many functions over here at your disposal. I want to say what is the character at position, for example, 3 for Seneca. Okay, yeah. Now here comes the programming part, Dave. If you have seen last, did you see my did you see my last week's week 2 part 2 lecture, Deep? Did you see that? So there we have started the programming, and now you can, through a program, you can just settle, okay, which one you want to change, which one you don't want to change, which occurrence you want to change, which occurrence you don't want to change. You know what I mean? So here what I'm saying that str1 at char at 3. So at char at 3, character at 3 location is E basically. So it is just these functions that are available with the string. Now, this was not our topic. Our topic is that an object data type is one where methods or operations are implicitly defined. You don't need to separately define them. Rather, when you define a data type, it will have all the methods associated within it. Now, this is not only the example. I'll give you one more example, and that is of array. If I define my array 1 equal to, and I say, for example, square brackets, and I say 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, square bracket closed. I define an array. Now, you see, since JavaScript treats them as objects, if I say my R1, you will find these two values. Can we not do 4 minus 7 instead of? Oh, no. It's not like that. It's not Python Lethison. It's not like that. Array requires values to be on all indices. You know what I mean? Indexes requires the value. So if you say 4-7, it will never know that what you are talking about. Again, you need to consult Python maybe for that. Anyhow, so okay. So if you see here, now interesting part is this. I can calculate the length of this array. Again, without anything, I know that I can calculate the length of this array. My array1.length is equal to 4. I can know that, for example, let's see what methods are available over here. So I'll tell you another method that I have discussed in that one, in my last class, but I'll just push inserts an element into an array. If I just array1.push, I will have this 10 has been stored over there, and now I can check my ARR1. You see that 10 is also there. Yeah, you can try that reverse as well. So my array dot reverse. You see, array gets reversed. Yes, pushes an element to the end of the array. If I'll show you again. So let's see that my ARR1. If I check that one, you'll find okay, there is a 20 also being embedded on. Now because I reversed that one, right? So now I can anyhow. So it always adds to the end. Now there is another function which is called pop. Pop function. If you do pop, you see it is showing me this 20 has been popped out. Now if I check my ARR1, you'll find 20 has been removed. Let's do a pop again. Okay, I'll just tell you what is the difference. Hengi, did you take my early classes, or maybe in one of the class where I mentioned how to run that code? Anyhow, I'll show that. I'll tell you. Okay, the pop removes only the last inserted element. Lethison, pop always removes that. If you want to remove a particular value, again, you will have to just do a program. There is no method that automatically does it for you. You know what I mean? So it will just remove. Now I'll tell you another method. So Hengi, I'll just talk about that one as well as you are saying. Now see here, my AR1 dot length is 4 again. Now, so let's see what is in my array one. It's 10, 7, 6, 5. There is a method called shift. Dot shift. If I do dot shift, see what has happened to my array. Can anyone tell me what has happened to my array? Remove. Second, from which side? Now it is removing from the front. Exactly, remove first. So again, let me do another shift. May I have one dot shift. So it removes one element from the beginning. Now if you see my AIR1, no, it does not add. It just deletes from the front side. Now you can do that unshift. My AR1 dot unshift. So if you unshift and if you put a value, for example, if you just put that one. So let's see now my AR1, my ARR1. So unshift means it has just inserted a value at the beginning. No second, it will be at the beginning because I'm doing unshift. If I do that push, my AR1 dot push, and I give 30 value. Now you know second where it will go. It will now go to the end 30. Yes, Ruby. Yeah. So you see that my ARR1 dot reverse. Now I have reversed the array. So you see that now 30 has come out there. Now it means that in memory it has now changed. So it just reverses the array. Smith, I'm just repeating that. So Smith, we can create an array like this. My ARR1 I created. I'll create my ARR2. So I can create an array of maybe letters or anything I can just create. I can just create a. So for example, for the characters, I'll just create that one. So I've created an array. So now I have those options that we can. Second difference, not reverse and reverse. Oh, not reverse is again, it would be just the reverse of that one. Not reverse is the reverse of that one. So one of them is reverse as people are talking about. So it becomes CBA. Right. And again, if I just do that again. So you see that now it has again ABC. Okay. Yeah. So exactly. So, again, when you will be programming, you will do these kind of things. So you see reverse. my array dot reverse. So you see that it's basically giving a is the return of false or something. If you are doing so, my array one dot reverse returns a true and not will make it false. So let's say it really depends upon your programming, what you are programming over there. So sometimes you might be needing that, sometimes you won't be. You know what I mean? Okay. So someone was asking, Smith Kumar, you were asking about the arrays. Do you understand array? And like arrays have, if you want to check that arrays, you will, if you want to check a specific index, you can always go to specific index and it will give you the specific letter over there. Right. So this is the concept of an array and arrays push and pop operations. As I've mentioned, I've discussed that in the morning class as well. And I've just given you an example, push and pop over there. Now here comes another very important question. Regular expressions. Do you guys know about regular expressions? What are regular expressions? Have you studied that maybe in your Unix course, Linux course, or somewhere? Regular expressions through which we can just patronize, or we can just find out the pattern and we can just write some syntax of that one. Have you studied regular expressions? Even if not, I have just given this again. It's a very interesting, yeah, plus minus etc. But again, I will just give you this one because I have just not discussed in the any morning session as well. You will have to just look this one. This is again my own recorded one, and you will definitely gonna enjoy that. I'll just copy this one for you. So this is the regular expression one, and of course there is a detailed discussion on regular expressions, how to write them, how to just work on them, and you'll definitely gonna like that one. So this will be part of our this lecture right now. Okay, one of the things that students ask in the morning, we are talking about these objects, and we'll talk about these objects a lot more detail. We'll be just continuously discussing about this, this one. But today I would like to just talk about some students were a bit, because they had not looked at the arrow functions. Have you people seen in my lecture arrow functions? How to define arrow functions? What are arrow functions and how do we use them? Lathison, you are the only one who knows about arrow functions. Okay, Romar has seen that. Can you see that? Okay, wonderful. I'll just talk about a little about the arrow functions, because in last week's lecture I've talked about 3 types of function expression and something like that. Anyhow, I'll just give you an example because I want to make everyone very sure. So for example, there is a function called by addition, and it accepts 2 variables, 2 values, or rather I'll just write something else. Function a comma b return a plus b. Okay, I have a question. Lathison, I'm not asking this question to you, or for the timing, I'm not asking this question to Romar and Kenny as well. This is a question to the others. What is the type or category of function that I've written down over here according to my last week's lecture? What is the category of this this function? Again, Lathison, you are not allowed to answer. Romar and Kenny also. So can I have an answer from anyone else? What is the category of this function? What type of function it is? Again, with respect to our discussion of last week. What type of function is this? Okay, Kevin, thank you very much. This is called function expression. And why it is called function expression? Because it is written on the one side of equality sign, and also it has no name over here. It is called, what it is called when a function is not given a name, what that function is typically called. Anyone other than Kevin even? Is there anyone else who tried to look at those lecture and understand what is this function called when there is no name? So this name will be recognized as the name of this, but what this function is called when it is defined without a name? Exactly, Daniel. Thank you very much. It's called anonymous function. Thank you very much. Okay, this is a function written in in function expression, not arrow function. Now, okay, just write down. Let me write that this is a function expression. Now I'll write its equivalent arrow function. Now, equivalent arrow function. So now I'll write to arrow function. How I would write that? I would just write my addition in the same way, and just to change it, make it different from the name, because it won't allow me. So rather than writing the function keyword, just write the arrows parentheses, and write the parameter's name. And now here, just write equal to and greater than sign. And I'm writing it for the second next way. Now make a curly braces and you say return a plus b. You might be thinking it does not really matter. Just remove function from here, and this bracket comes over here, and then other than function there is a equal to and equal to and less than greater than sign. But this is not like that only. If there is only one single statement, and that also is of return statement, I can take out its curly braces as well. See here. And okay, first of all, just take out the curly braces. And secondly, since there is only one statement and it is returning something, I can even take out the return keyword as well. You know what I mean? Now, this is exactly the same function as this one. But do you see how much less code is there? Exactly the same function. Whatever this my addition will do, this my addition one will do exactly the same. Just make a comment, and I'll just name it my addition as well, just to check that one. So this is my addition function. Let's call this function. Rather, not console.log. My addition, and I want to say 4,5. And I will run. What will be my output? Anyone? This is a testing question. What will be my output? 9. Hangi is right. Hangi is right. There will be no output. Hangi, can you explain why there is no output? And those who are very quick enough to answer.
Log.
Yeah, there is no console.log. So Latisan, there is no console.log. Remember, because the returned value, so I erase that, and intentionally I erase that. So console.log, and now it would just print 9, of course. No problem, no problem. This was just just for a little fun, quick fun. Okay, so now you see that this is the same function, but how short it has become. If there is only a single return statement, take out the return. If there is only a single statement, but if there are more than one values, of course you will have to go over there. You know what I mean? So for example, if you say that I want to use an if and else. Okay, if you want to do some if and elsing, you need to have a body of that one, right? So for example, you say if A is greater than B, and here again I'll have to use the return statement as well, because now I'm inside the body. How would it know that I have to return something? If A is greater than B, for example, return A plus B, or maybe you can say else return A minus B, whatever, something like that. So it will now, we can just use parentheses for multiple parameters. What do you mean by you are talking about this one, or parentheses you are talking about this one, or you are talking about the curly braces? Yeah, exactly. So we can just use parentheses for exactly. So no. You need to give the parameters, because parameters will be used in your program, Latisan. If that is what you mean, I can write this function. This is very valid legal. But problem is that, of course, there is no A and B then. This how would it require? But anyhow, I'll just let you know. Your question, I'll reply that question as well. So this is one function running over here. I'll just make it a comment for a second. You see here, var. Okay, let's take this greeting function equal to. Now I will just write this one, and I will say, okay, it also just returns one statement for the time being, and it says, welcome to WEB222, something like that. Let's see how it goes. Now I need to call this function, so I'll call this function greeting. Because console log is there, of course it should return that. So now you see that now I have written down without any parameter. Latisan, you know what I mean? I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. And now if there is one parameter, there is two parameters, you need to pass in those parameters. So for example, if I come over here and I say A, or as I said, F name, there is a parameter that would be F name that would be passed to a function. So I'll come over here and I'll say plus f name. Welcome plus f name. Can you not do console.log by addition 4,5, 7,9? I'm not getting that. I'll just check that one for you. Just give me a second. Let me first check this one. So welcome to Web222 undefined. Oh, what is that? Welcome to Web222. Okay, because I'm just calling it without it. So if I just come over here and I say Ellen, for example, I pass this one. So Ellen, I've passed this one, and if I just check that one, so it's welcome to Web222 Ellen, and Ellen is appearing over there. Okay, so you say that, can you do this one? I'll check that one for you, Letizan. I'm not exactly 100% sure if I'm getting your question, but anyhow, I'll run that. So if that is one, and you say that I want to run this 4,5, 7,9. Oh, this is interesting. Let's see how it behaves. I don't know how it would behave. Okay, it says -1 and 9, something like that. So, you know, what it is doing, it's just basically checking if it's greater than B, which is not the case for example, for the first call. So, you know, what is happening? It's just, you know, calling this with this 5 and 9, 4 and 5. You know what I mean? Or rather, what it is doing, where this 9 is coming from. Okay. So it should return what it will return. This call will return us, you know, -1, because this is 4 is not greater than 1. 4 minus 5 is -1. Then where this 9 is coming from? Even I'm confused here. Oh, yeah. Okay. You say it's 4 plus 5. Not
The
really.
4 is less than 5, so it will go into the else statement, and which will return 4 minus 1. That's why it's -1.
Oh, right. But where this 9 is coming from? My question is this. It's right. It's -1, and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense that it's coming out of this one. But then why this 9? Can you unmute yourself? Who was that? I don't know. Where this 9 is coming? That's a quite interesting fact. Because let's say first up, it does not really make sense of this question. But why not? Let's check that one. So you see, -1 makes sense, complete sense. But I am saying, and as you are saying, comma and bracket and 7,9, which looks a very, you know, I don't know what type of statement this is. If I do something like this, it's returning with the 9. Boom. So it's something like that. Maybe, I don't know. If I come over here and I just do this 7,9, I don't know what should be the output. It says 9. Wonderful. So this is console logs 7,4. Okay, 7,4. Let's check that one. So it says 4. It's just giving the second value. You know, by the way, just don't worry about that. I don't know for what behavior. But what I understand from your question is, Letizan, I think you wanted to know about like something like this. Maybe let's do that, which will make it, you know, more confused. My addition will be very, very annoyed with us. We are playing with it because of Letizan. So now it is returning -4. I don't know from where it is just returning -4. Anyhow, so it's okay. Anyhow, yes, you're right. So you can just, you know, test those kind of things, but don't make our life so difficult, by the way. Right? Okay. Anyhow, so it should be a single bracket over here. No need. Oh no, I need one more bracket over here just to complete that one, and now it should work fine. So that's, of course, it's -1, which is very sensible, like, you know, very predictable output that it is generating over here. Make sense, everyone? Now let's move forward. And I have talked about, and maybe in the last week's session as well, if someone has looked at that, we have different ways. I've just, you know, given some examples over there. Yeah. So we have different ways of accessing a list. So if I say var s1 equal to hello web222, right? This is a string. Now see here, how many ways I can just read every letter of this string. So there is a for loop that I can use. So if I say var I equal to 0, I less than. Now I don't know what is the length of it. So what I can do, I can say s1 dot length. Now I've got the methods with me. No worries. I can say I plus plus, and if I come over here and I want to console.log, and I will say, for example, and now see here, I will use the backticks. The character at position, and now I want to write position. What should I do? What should I do? $sign curly braces, because I want to say I, right? That's wonderful. Is, now I want to have that character over here. You know what I mean? I want to have that character. Now there are different character functions even that I can use. So I can say, for example, over here, I can say var char is equal to, you know what I mean? Var char is equal to s1 of I. Yes. So I might go for the s1 of I. And now here I will just print that one. Character position is dollar curly braces, and I will write char. I want to have a char character over here, the character over here. Right? So let's run this program. So you see that character at 0 is h, and up to so on. Character for 14 is this one. So it goes to the length. Okay, this was not the problem that what I wanted to have here. I wanted to you to note that we have got this for loop which I can use, but again, I need always to be worried about the length of that one. I need to calculate that length. And now I've got the predefined methods that are there, and I can use them. And of course, I have used them. But there are other good methods of doing that one as well. There is one more method for strings, and that is called for off loop. So I'll say, for example, I'll say for var character of what s1. You know what I mean? For var character of s1. So what I'm saying is that s1 is a collection, is a string. Out of that, take one character out and store that in char. You know what I mean? And now see here. Yeah, that is also where you are talking about. You are talking about this code, line 49, Smith Kumar. Yes, it is applicable over there. So
Yes.
Yes, Smith. Yes, you are right. And for you, I can just do that as well for you. And again, you can see that it's always on there. So char is equal to, you can see even that s1 dot char at, like character at position I. That will exactly do the same thing. Thank you, Smith, for adding that one to it. But exactly. So char at character at position I. Calculate character at position I and store that in char. In the same way, I'm just telling you that there is a for off loop as well. So for char of s1 console.log, and I would like to say, okay, backticks, the character is. So I'm not taking a position over there, but I can even have the position as well. But character is $char. Right? So I want to have this output now. So now I have got for off, and I'm not worried about s1's length. Which one you are talking about? Letison? Oh, this is wonderful. Letison, this is a good question. See here. Letison, from for off, the loop is for. No. This is a loop. See here. For and off. This is a loop. And I'll write it over here. There's a loop called for off. For off is used for what? When you have a collection and you want to run through that collection. You don't even need a I variable. You are right, but this is what we are saving ourselves from. So when I say about char of S1, see here, let's say this is a very, very important question. This is the string, this is the collection, and this is a variable where a string will put in every character one at a time. I think this question of Letison, oh yeah, exactly. It automatically disposes one character at a time. So it will just keep on running for itself. And that's a wonderful thing, by the way, because it's something that is giving you so much powerful. Anyhow, so if I run that one, you see that it will just exactly give me. No. Each character from the array has been stored as one character in char. Make sense, Letizen? Because each character will come out from that hello web222, H come out and H becomes chart. E come out, E becomes character, and L come out, L. You know what I mean? So this will be all those letters over here coming. And you know, those who have just looked at the last, so there are lots of interesting functions over here. If I can say char.to uppercase, what will happen now? What will happen now? Now every character will come as an uppercase letter. Hello web222. But there are so many interesting functions over there. You know what I mean? So you can have these one as well. So you can play anything with this. With curly braces, the expression box. So this is a for of loop. Now there is another loop which does not work with the strings. Rather, it will work with the arrays. So if I say my array AR equal to, I'm just defining an array that has certain random values. So these are the 4 values in that one. So I have an array. So again, I can just go with the same with. For example, for the for, I'll say var I equal to 0, I less than. Now what I'll do, my ARR dot length. I don't know what is the length. Maybe I know over here, but I will just say that I don't know the length. I plus plus. I'll come over here and again, I'll just do that. Console.log, and I'll say, for example, just print out every value. So I'll say, okay, so you do my ARR is good. I, for example, I'll just, I'm just printing every letter, every value from that my array. So if you run that one, so you see 45, 23, 12, and 20. And I can apply some operations on that, and we can just do a lot of things. But again, the same thing can be done by for of loop. Now, Letizen, can you tell me what will be the syntax for that? Var, for example, value of, what should I write over here? Anyone? Not only Letizen, sorry. My AR, right? My AR. Now I'll just make a curly braces. That's wonderful. And now what I'll do is that now every value will come in value. So I don't need even a index value. So I'll say okay value. So again, the same thing will happen, but with a different method. And by the way, I can just use that backticks again to make it a bit more functional. The value, the item is, for example, I'm saying the item is for every item. And what I'll do is curly bracket. What should I write? No, I ran it twice. It did not, because if might be my previous loop is running. I'll show you. So it's all clear now. You see here, Letizen, you see it runs for the first one time. You know what I mean? So that's something that so okay, there is one more loop. Remember, for the arrays or for these calculations, and that is more interesting than all these. But that is a bit typical one, and I would like to just discuss that. So if that is a mathematical one, I can use my ARR dot for each. For each is a very interesting loop, and here I will write it first the long way and then I'll short way. It accepts a function. The function will act upon every value item that exactly for each value of the array do something. Now do what? For example, right now, console.log, and just do what? And again, backticks. The value is, or the item is, again, something like that. Item is dollar curly braces value. Yes, print something. So if you see here, now the item is it's exactly the same, but the difference, feel the difference. There is a function that is running over here. And again, if I convert this function into an arrow function, you see how my life will become so easy. The opposite one, and I have to remove this one curly braces or parentheses over here. Oh, this one from this one, and okay. So if you why? First of all, let me check that why it is just giving this one. Console.log. The value is, oh, this is wrong. I think now it should be fine. No, not yet. Okay, for each. Okay, I need to close this one. Yeah, at the end, I have to keep that. Right. So see here, I'll talk about the athleticism as you're talking about. First of all, let's see here what it is doing. You see exactly the same thing. Now the code has shrunk to this one. You see, value console.log. Okay, if you do value, you know what will happen? This only will return the value, and you need to catch that and print that value. You know what I mean? So if I just write a value over here. Okay, why it is the
Dollar sign.
oh something dollars? No, not the dollar sign. Okay. This backticks is basically okay. And how much is remaining? I think now it should work fine. Now what is happening? Let's see then what will happen. Now it will just return the value. Whatever value will come, it will return. And now if I just it is just returning that. So I'll have to just yeah, exactly. So I'll have to just now do what? For example, whatever the value is being returning, I need to catch that and print that maybe somewhere else, because this is just only returning. But again, if you do that like console.log, that will definitely work fine for you. And now it is. So for each is a very important function. Not only for each is a very important function, but rather remember that I will be using mostly these arrow functions over here. Anyone has a question related to arrow functions? Then I'll move forward. Anyone has a question? Smith says no. Arrow functions. I hope everyone is clear with these arrow functions. Because again and again, time and again, I'm saying that this arrow function will be so very important for you guys. Are arrow functions the same as the lambda? Exactly, like you said. Yeah. So lambda functions you have seen in Visual Studio, like C# and other places. Let's say, are you talking about those? Yeah. So these are exactly almost the same lambda functions, and rather it's they are exactly the same in spirit. And they are like over there, that is in Visual Studio or C#, you use them, and here it is basically typically for our for our JavaScript usage, right? It's the lambda functions. You're right. All righty. So any other question from anyone? Right. So this is the code file that I've created with you. So what I'll do is that I will share this code file with you only, and I'll just keep this file for you, and I'll just share it on your course shell. First of all, I'll just share that one. So let's go to the learning content. So week 1 lecture course, week 2 lecture course, I share all the folders over there. You would have seen that. But here what I'm doing is I'm just creating an item over here. Code file May 24, right? So just so just that you got that one. Please find attached the code file of May 24. No. There is no. If you're talking about the slides, there is no slides. There are no slides for that reason. And free. And this is an E document that I'm sharing with you. And of course, I'm recording this, but again, if you are looking at a recording at a later time, you know that, okay, this was the file that I created with you, and you have got the file. I will remove that from there one. Why? Because I don't want it to be for everyone. This is an EE section, and I'm just sharing this is an EE section, if I'm sure. Yeah. So it will be, the file will be there, and it's in your code file. Again, you will get the week 3 lecture codes. And when I share week 3 lecture codes, I will definitely share everything that is over there other than this file. This will be script file, and it's almost exactly the same. I'm just showing you just for the purpose that you have, that, okay, what's going on. This is the notes file that comes over there. Someone was saying that they were unable to access the notes file, but I'll just let you know. Okay. One more important note for you guys today. And I had to post that in NEE, but I'll post that in your environment over here. So we are having our test starting from this week. If you know about that, in announcement, I put that announcement, and I've told you that there will be a test over there. And for you guys, I'll just let me let me just add one more thing, and I'm adding it over here so that you get the update over there. Let me just make it all caps. The recorded session for part 2 of the week. You will get the link after my Friday's session with ZBB. You know what I mean? Around after 7 p.m. on Fridays. Okay. So you might be thinking, what will, so again, it would be on your own discretion whenever you just look at it. But during your session, we will have that, you will have just your test. Yes, I'll be telling you, Letison, I'll be telling you what you'll be expecting the quiz. But do you understand, Letison, this announcement? The recorded session part 2, it won't be available on Thursday. Rather, it will be available after Friday's session with ZBB around 7 p.m. on Fridays. Understand, everyone? Okay, Smith Kumar, I used to do that for 24 hours before, and so, but again, this time it will be available for your test, test timing. If there is some really extraordinary circumstances, you can contact me individually, and I'll discuss it with you, right? But Smith Kumar, right now it would be available only for that one. If you have any, again, extraordinary circumstances, you can contact me. Even though I just mentioned that if you miss a test, you will be missed a test. So this is an important note, and I would just mark it. Okay, Smith Kumar, you can just, you can discuss that personally with me, no problems. I'll talk about that. So I just mark it red as well, so that it's really highlighted. Even though I know that no one will really bother about I'll put that announcement on the Teams as well, and let's see how many of you respond over there. And it is basically not only for you; it's typically for our section Z and A. Or the quiz on BB, like add below. Add below. Okay, I don't know what you are talking about. Let me just first of all add this to the Teams, and then I'll talk about. Okay, where is the team? Okay, here is the team. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you where it will be. I'll just show you. Just give me a second, and I'll tell you what is that. For two sections, it's for NEE and it's for NJJ. Right, so it's an important announcement for you guys, and I would happily see that there is no one responding to that message even. Anyhow, so I've just posted that message. Right. Okay. So now, if you talk about test, where will be test available? So see here, Letison, when you go to the test, this is the test, which is of course hidden from you, and it will be available on Thursday when you have a class. No, week 1 and week 2. I'm just telling you what will be included. I'm just telling you. So you see that now it is basically, it will be available over here, first of all. Secondly, it will contain week 1 and week 2 contents only. And are you getting that? Week 1 and week 2. Whatever we have discussed previous weeks, it will only contain that. Right. So week 1 and week 2. So you can always prepare from your notes file as well, or my lecture files. So this week 1 file, you will get questions from this part, and you will also get questions from the week 2 part. Not more than that. Functions, what are the functions? But remember, week 2, part 2, and I have discussed all those things in the last week's lecture. So you have to just look. Maybe I'll just lift out maybe scope or something, and I'll be discussing that. But whatever I'll discuss, I will just mention that in the quiz. So quiz will be available over there. Right. So is that making sense to everyone? Week 1 and week 2, and questions will be mostly objective type. It would be MCQs. It would be maybe MCQs. It will be sometimes a short answer, or maybe code given. You have to give output. Second, it will be available for 2 hours. It will be available for 2 hours. It will be available from 2:25. If you see here, 2:25, it will be open up, and I have set it up for 2 hours. It will close at 4:25, and it's only a 40 minutes quiz second. Second, you got it? So in that 2-hour window, you can do it anytime. And as I said, lecture will not be available. 40 minutes left, isn't 40 minutes for the test. Yeah. Question, you know, there will be 20 MCQs or objective questions. I know, Letizen, but what do you mean if you know? I've made that test. Right, so there will be only 20 MCQs, and you know, if you know the MCQ, you just have to select A, B, C. So I have given ample time. Of course, you won't take more than a minute on our question, Letizen, you know. Hengi, I would definitely like to talk about that assignment 1. What do you want me to just, you know, say? So assignment 1 is there that I have shared the videos. Hengi, have you seen the videos? The 2 videos which were of course made from the previous assignments. The contents have changed, but the spirit is same for the both of them. Hengi, have you looked at the videos? Exactly. Let me show you. This is NEE. I've come over here, and okay. So where is it? Oh, okay. Go to the assignments. Where's the assignment? Assignments. You'll find assignment 1. If you open this up, so you see that there is a file attached to that one. And where is that file? Assignment1.docs. And you know, you have that walkthrough videos given the assignment. So if I show you, I hope you have had a look at that one, but I don't know if you had really. I'm just opening up that Word document to show you what is there. Document is opening up. Let's see if it opens up right now. Yeah, it's here. So Hengi, here you will find these 2 videos for instructions. You know what I mean? Yeah. So these are over there in the instructions, and everything is almost. I've just discussed everything on that one. Any other question from anyone? Now, so this assignment, now you get assignment and test, both menus set up over here. You have to just go into test at your time. Just go to the test, and I have just given this one. Letizen, yes, go ahead. I don't know if I will be able to answer that or not, but ask. Letizen, go ahead.